Hey guys, welcome to another ServerMiner plugin tutorial. I'm your host LTJim007 and today we're looking at the Savage Death Chest plugin. Now this is a really awesome plugin. As the name would suggest, it saves all of your items when you die in a little chest, and it has a ton of different options in the config file which we're going to look at. And it's just a really simple, easy to use plugin that adds a really cool feature to your server. Because when I die, which is quite a lot when I'm mining, it's really annoying that I lose all of my items, diamonds, etc. But with this plugin, your players will be kept happy as they can go back and grab their items before they despawn. So first of all, instead of looking at the plugin, we are going to go straight into the config file and have a look at the different options in there. So here we are in the SM Picnic control panel, and as you can see there are 4 different files. If we go into the language file, we will see there are 3 different languages by default. There is English, Spanish, French. If we go into one of them, we can have a quick look and see that it is in fact in Spanish. So horas, that means hour, which I remember from speaking Spanish in school, but let's not turn this into a Spanish lesson. And we are going to go back to the sounds.yml. In here it's very small. You can enable, disable and change the sounds that appear when you try to get in a chest or break a chest, etc. And you can even change the volume and the sound, the pitch of it as well, which is interesting. You don't have to mess around with this. And then we get to the deathchest.db. So this is the database that saves all of your data. You don't need to touch that, but the one you want to look at is the config.yml. So in here, up at the top, we can change the language to French or Spanish as we saw. Then we can list all of the worlds we want it in the enabled worlds. All of the worlds we don't want it in disabled worlds, so maybe factions, you might not want it, creative, spawn world, etc. Then do we want sound effects to be played with this plugin? Do we want the chest to be protected from other players, which is a pretty cool feature? Do we want it to be protected by everyone except the person who killed you? Which is interesting for maybe an RPG server. Should the player have a chest in your inventory when you die? So that's another cool feature that I haven't seen in other death chest plugins as well. Then prevent item placing in the death chests. Deploy chests for players in creative mode or allow access in creative mode. So you probably want these to be false, you don't want creative people getting involved. So we have the search distance to search for a decent location to put the chest, and if not, it won't go down. Then we have whether we want to place above the void, below the max height in the world, and the expiry times. After 60 minutes, goodbye to the chest. Do you want signs to be placed on the chest? So we will see that in game in a few seconds when we hop over. And we want quick loot, so if you sneak punch, you will get everything back very quickly. The list page size when you use the command, and all of these protection plugins, how do they interact with the death chest plugin? So up here you can see if the value is true, restrictions will be respected, and if it's false, it will be ignored. So do you want it to interact with these or not, or completely ignore them? Finally, at the bottom we have a list of block materials that can be replaced by the chest. So obviously we have air, we have grass, snow, water, and vines and lava as well. So you could add, I don't know, stone, bedrock, whatever you wanted here, and that could also be replaced by a chest. So that is pretty much everything out of the game. Let's actually hop into the game and see what it looks like there. So here we are finally back in game, and if we open up the command menu and do /death chest, it will show us all of the different commands. There aren't too many. If we do /death chest and then list, it will list all of the different locations of the different chests and give a bit of information. If we do death chest and then status, it will give more information about the plugin, such as the expiry time, the enabled worlds, and the replaceable blocks. You can also reload the configuration file from in-game as well, but we are going to get straight into it and just kill myself. Once we've done that, I'm going to use essentials and type /back to get back to where I died, and there is our beautiful chest, and it says RIP and my username, as you can see there, and it's got an unhappy face, and it gives you the date as well, 14th of December 2018. So if we shift and left click, it will automatically give all of our stuff back, which is really cool, instead of manually dragging it. So if we go ahead and do the same thing, so kill myself next to the TNT block, if I can actually type it in correctly, there we go, we are going to see that it is actually explosive proof. So if we go back, we can see that the sign has in fact spawned on top of the chest, and I'm going to give myself a redstone torch and place it down next to the TNT, and then when it explodes, all of my items will be safe. The chest is still floating there, and I can grab my items, and then the chest will disappear completely. So that is the plugin. It's absolutely fantastic. It's obviously free to download. There'll be a link to that in the description. If you need a server to host it on, check out ServerMiner.com for the best and cheapest hosting around. But that's it for me for this week. Subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you next time.